Are we ready to go? He's giving me looks. Ready to go?
Yeah. Really good candidate.
We'll be able to get there.
Good evening. The hour of 7 o'clock having arrived and passed. Apologies for our tardiness. I call to order this legislative meeting of the Woodland Hills School Board for January of 2018. Mrs. Pugh, will you call the roll, please?
Ms. Ava Johnson?
Here.
Ms. Paige Strasberg?
Here.
Mr. Jeff Hanchett?
Here.
Dr. Jeff Hildebrand?
Here.
Ms. Akia Kester? Ms. Sade Seligson?
Present.
Mr. David Graves?
Here.
Mr. Mike Belmont?
Here.
Steve Glasser?
Present. I'll note for the record that Mrs. Kester is ill this evening. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Actually, do information.
Okay.
You know what I was all right.
Okay. Moving on to accepting the minutes. We will accept the minutes from the agenda and for the reorganization and legislative meeting in December. Is there a motion to accept the minutes?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any notes or corrections to the minutes? Seeing none, call the vote. Minutes are accepted unanimously. We had an executive session this evening to discuss legal and personnel matters. Any announcements, Mr. Johnson?
Just want to remind everybody that the start of the second semester is now January 25th because of the snow day. And also I wanted to announce that on Monday, January 29th, at 6 o'clock p.m. Last year, I had started out the year holding a number of public forums. We were calling them Coffee with the Superintendent, just a superintendent's forum. And they were pretty successful, but there was obviously some things happened that put a stop to that. But I'm going to resume those on, again, Monday, January 29th at 6 o'clock here at the administration building. We'll send out and post on our website, but it's really open to any citizen of the school district and resident of the school district to just talk about really pretty much any issue you want, although I want to focus on talking about some of the things we're doing to try to assure equitable outcomes as we wind up the work that the Commission's doing. And so I just wanted to announce that again. It's Monday, January 29th at 6 o'clock here at the Fairless Building. That's all I have.
Anyone else have any announcements? Okay. Seeing none, move on. I don't see any student speakers here this evening, so we will move on from there to presentations. We do have this evening Ms. Klein, Intermediate School, to present our Spirit Awards for that building.
This is one of the best jobs I have. I always seem to get the coldest night for a board meeting of January. Next month, next year maybe I can switch the month. But anyway, this is definitely one of the favorite things I do. I ask the teachers at this time, in the beginning of January, to please give me names, nominate students who really exemplify the board spirit and how they conduct themselves every day in the classroom and in transitions and just exemplifying the 5 Ps. So I would like Ms. Mitchell to come up because she nominated a student. There are quite a few nominations, and a committee looked at all the nominations and selected students. So, Ms. Mitchell, nominated Madison Uplinger. Madison, please come up. Madison is a 5th grade student.
Okay, and I chose Madison based on she demonstrates true Wolverine leadership each day and every day. Madison has outstanding attendance. She comes to school prepared. Madison is kind, she's thoughtful to all her peers. She gives very unselfishly. She's proud to be a Wolverine. She shows students school spirit during our special events that we have. She works very hard in her academics and to help others as well. She demonstrates the 5 Ps, being prompt, prepared, productive, polite, and proud. And I'm proud to have her for the student. You didn't tell me we were doing that.
Of course. Make it Facebook official. Very nice, sweetheart. Congratulations. Good job. And our second student is another 5th grader, Dynasty Knight, nominated by Mrs. Meg Madden. Come on up, Dynasty.
Okay, without question that I nominated Dynasty. She's the first person I thought of when Ms. Klein sent us the email. Dynasty is a wonderful young lady who represents the Wolverine spirit with the highest dignity and diligence. Dynasty is consistent with effort and performs and produces beautiful academic work. She is persistent in all tasks and never hesitates to perform her best and assist her struggling classmates along the way. Her spirit not only encompasses the classroom, but it is her unique ability to handle any situation with compassion, honesty, and understanding of others' feelings. She is a true leader and role model in the classroom. She does not allow outside distractions to hinder her ability to learn, nor alter her kindness to others. It is amazing to see such an intelligent and focused young lady. Dynasty is one of those special students you only encounter every couple of years as an educator, and I'm very lucky and honored to be her teacher.
We forgot. We usually do the families. Yeah. So you come up and then I'll do yours again. Get them all too. These little sassy ones. These little sassy ones.
So cute.
He's a great role model for her.
Guy with all those girls. Girls, I was going to say.
Oh, okay. Here she goes.
Yes! I love it.
Perfect time.
Can we get everybody in?
You ready? You guys are good. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Very nice. Grandma want to come up? No, she want to come up? Grandma wants to come up? Here you go. One more time, honey. Very nice.
Thank you.
move us along to registered speakers. I don't see Miss Turner. Kathy Turner? Don't see her. Okay. Mr. Flanagan, registered to speak as well. Just a reminder, as always, that remarks are limited to 2 minutes. Speakers are asked to give their name and address, and time limit will be there on the podium.
Good evening. Robert Flanagan, Comrie Avenue, Braddock. Philadelphia School District, 2005, made it a mandate that Black history be taught. And it was 2009 where the first graduating class who had a full year of African history class graduated. And that was right here in Pennsylvania, as you know. So I see no reason why it couldn't be done here. And then, and that goes back to 1967, when they first fought to get African history in the classroom, but it was in 2005 where it became mandated. And their African American population was 2/3 of the population, which ours is a little higher. You know, the importance of telling the American history, the whole history, as opposed to what we've always learned. I guess I was like 33 years old when I started learning about Black history, where that niche hit me to learn more about myself and what people who look like me contributed to this country. And I was very surprised. And I felt like if I had it in K through 12, I'd be a whole lot more than what I am now when I realized that. And so we're really depriving our youth of reaching their full potential because their image is not being taught in school. And at the same time, their image is a part of American history. Their image is American history because it happened here. I've said it a number of times in the past that when it comes to the Holocaust, they make sure that that is known, and all good and fine and good and well. But that did not take place here. But yet, our story is not being told in the classrooms here. And the impact that it could make on our youth, white and black, because you got different things in your mission statement and have had things over the years that said diversity is our strength. That's only been in the physical, in the body. But the curriculum does not reflect that strength. That strength that a whole lot of students could draw from to be better citizens in this society. And keep in mind, when it comes to, keep this in mind, if you don't embrace change, progress is difficult or won't even happen. Thank you.
Thank you. And that'll move us on to board matters.
Board matters action item 2.1, approve the Tracog Land Bank proposed property acquisition list, which is attached.
Any questions on that? I'm sorry, is there a motion?
So moved.
Second. Moved by Dr. Hildebrand, second by Ms. Johnson. Are there any questions? Okay. Seeing none, we'll take the vote.
I'm sorry, something. Hold on.
To fill the time, the land bank is it's an entity that serves to eradicate blight, and yours truly serves on the board And we have 4 properties in Woodland Hills that have made the cut to get help in taking care of those blighted properties. Make a motion, we do it the old-fashioned way.
Roll call, or-
Can we call the roll, Ms. Gill? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Ms. Strasburg?
Yes.
Mr. Hanchett?
Yes.
Dr. Hildebrand?
Yes.
Ms. Seligson?
Yes.
Mr. Graves?
Yes.
Mr. Belmont?
Yes.
Ms. Glasser?
Yes. Motion carries unanimously.
Action item 2.2, request approval of the LERTA program. Applications are submitted on behalf of PCE partners for 2 parcels in Penn Center, Wilkins Township.
Is there a motion?
Second.
Moved by Dr. Hildebrand, second by Mr. Hanchett. Any questions?
Maybe you don't know the answer to this. First of all, I have to say I'm glad that Wilkins Township is finally using it since we passed it like 2 years ago. Do you know what the value of those properties is currently? Because that's the value of what their improvement costs. Do you have an idea of what those are worth currently?
Not off the top of my head.
Okay,
It would be,
you know what? I was just wondering. I should have asked last week and I didn't think about it. I mean, it doesn't really matter at this point because we're only going to get the same property value or taxes for 2 years now.
it'll be increased. I don't have it.
Okay, that's fine.
Sorry.
Because I didn't see them in the agreement. That's why I was-
Usually not. I will say this, that from having worked at I think both properties are over at least $1 million, maybe $1 and $2 million. Again, there's a number of Penn Center's properties. But in addition to that, whenever we did the tax assessment appeal, the settlement of these properties wasn't unduly impacted one way or the other. So it wasn't like they gamed the system, got something purposely high or purposely low. And then, they said, oh, now we have alert on. So it was straight up.
Well, but this is doing what that is intended to do.
Yeah, it is. So, but there was nothing that struck me that I thought, oh, well, that.
Okay.
Any further discussion? Anything else? Okay. Seeing none? Motion carries unanimously.
Now to move to item 4, or section 4, special education. Action item 4.1, approval to ratify an agreement with HDS Center for Hearing and Deaf Services for translation. Services at a cost of $50 for the first hour and $12.50 for every quarter hour past that.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second. Moved by Dr. Hildebrand, second by Ms. Johnson. Any questions? Okay. Seeing none? Motion carries unanimously.
Action item 4.2, approval to ratify the contract with the Watson Institute Friendship Academy for the 2017-18 school year. Total cost of $44,788 for a student.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
By Dr. Hildebrand, second by Mr. Hanchett. Any questions or discussion? Seeing none, call the vote. Motion carries unanimously.
Action item 4.4, approve the settlement. I'm sorry, I went ahead of myself again. Action item 4.3, approve the addendum to the agreement of 2016 between the district and the family of student MO.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Dr. Hildebrand, second by Ms. Johnson. Any questions that we can't, these are difficult to answer in public, but if there's any reason to go into executive for this one? Okay. Seeing none?
We wait for anybody, Julie?
Ms. Johnson. Didn't pop up? No. Oh, yes. Okay.
Motion carries unanimously.
Action item 4.4, approve the settlement agreement with the family of EF.
Is there a motion?
Second.
Moved by Ms. Johnson, second by Dr. Hildebrand. Again, this is a settlement that will require executive discussion. Motion carries unanimously.
Action item 4.5, approve the settlement agreement with the family of student AW.
Is there a motion?
Me.
Moved by Ms. Johnson, second by Dr. Hildebrand. Call the vote. Motion carries unanimously.
Action item 4.6, approve the settlement and agreement with the family of JH.
Is there a motion? Moved by Dr. Hildebrand, second by Ms. Johnson. Motion carries unanimously.
And move us on to section 5, pupil personnel. Action item 5.1, permission to approve the Caring Foundation agreement at no cost to the district to be implemented at the intermediate school.
Is there a motion?
Second.
Moved by Ms. Johnson, second by Dr. Hildebrand.
Can you get some variety out of this here?
Any questions about this one?
You know. You guys do.
I thought they had a system.
Just a reminder, actually, Alicia or Dawn, will you guys give us 10 seconds about this one? Which one's more familiar with it? Or Allison, whoever knows the best.
Good evening. This is just an agreement with a caring place to provide our students with some groups on peer relationships. I don't want to say peer relationships, but more like around grief.
Yeah.
And, how they're dealing with those types of issues and situations. So our social worker at the intermediate building reached out to a caring place and was able to have this meeting and this agreement for the intermediate. And the hope is to, as I said last week, to expand that to the other buildings in the district.
Thank you. Any additional questions or discussion?
They're also coming for our in-service day in March to train the teachers on how to deal with children who are grieving.
Additional? Okay. Seeing none? Motion carries unanimously.
Action item 5.2, permission to approve Ruth's Way, the MOU with Ruth's Way. I'll get that out. After school program at no cost to the district. Program will be implemented at the junior, senior high. This is the one that's Ruth's Way is a faith-based organization, but they're not going to be involved in a religious instructional program. It's really life skills kind of education, primarily aimed at adolescent young girls. Just something that always gets missed in schools. So,
is there a motion?
I make a motion.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Graves, second by Dr. Hildebrand. Any questions? Okay, seeing none. Motion carries unanimously.
action item 5.3, permission to approve the Ask Me, Hear Me proposal at no cost to the district. The program will be implemented at the junior, senior high school. This is a pilot, I believe, program. The idea is to assist parents and students in obtaining access to mental health resources. Be an app that goes as part of this, but Dawn is much more familiar if you want to hear more, but that's kind of the thumbnail sketch of what the program will be about. It is a pilot.
Is there a motion?
So moved. Second.
Moved by Ms. Strasbaugh, second by Mr. Belmont. Any questions or discussion? Seeing none? Oh. Motion carries unanimously.
That'll move us to personnel, section 6. And that is asking the board to approve sections A, B, C, D, F, and G, personnel tab.
Is there a motion? Moved by Dr. Hildebrand, second by Ms. Johnson. Okay. Any need for discussion on this? Okay. Seeing none. Motion carries unanimously.
And I think we want to recognize our newest addition to the assistant principal staff. I believe she's here, isn't she? There she is. As a result of this, Ms. Lauren Weiser, congratulations. Primary and already doing a great job. Thank you, Lauren. Thank you. Then we'll move on to section 7, technology. Action item 7.1, request approval for data center remote support services at a cost of $6,000. This is coming from the general fund.
Is there a motion?
Second.
Moved by Dr. Hildebrand, second by Ms. Johnson. Questions or discussion on this issue? Seeing none. Motion carries unanimously.
Action item 7.2, request approval for the district bus routing software services from Traversa at a cost of $28,694, also coming from the general fund. We have included some analysis of the software and how it scored, and as well as the agreement. We can certainly answer any questions you may have about this
Is there a motion?
program.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Osbaugh, second by Mr. Hanchett. Any questions on this?
Could Siobhan explain, since this is not attached, the recommendations that we received to make this choice, just for public knowledge, please?
I'm sorry.
Do you want to know who all recommended it? You mean ask Steve to come out too? See, I think he was involved in that, wasn't he? Usually when I say Steve, about 3 seconds later,
He appears.
he comes through the door.
Besides Pittsburgh Public, I did I had 4 school districts that I called. I did send an email late today with
There he
the
is.
schools.
Do you know other districts we consulted about the Traversa?
Not offhand.
Southern New York, it was like Black Hawk.
Right, it was.
There were 4 of them, I know. My phone.
I'm sorry, it's coming here. Just a minute. It was, Eastern York School District, Ridgeway Area School District, Pittston Area School District, and Springford Area School District.
Are they equivalent to our size?
I don't have the numbers in front of me, but nobody else met our size of school districts exactly. I mean, Pittsburgh Public is going to be going with it, to my knowledge, and they're a lot larger than us. And the new transportation director there has used it in many other school districts in Ohio, and has just had very good experience with it. The other school districts are smaller than us, but have had good experience with it. There is, you can look online. There is good explanations on their website of exactly what they'll do for us, but they're basically equivalent to, I had spoken about Bus before too, but just because of more research that I had done and talking to these other school districts besides Mr. Black over at Pittsburgh Public, it just seemed like a good fit. They basically did about the same. One is a little stronger, a little weaker than the other. Nobody's going to be perfect.
See, didn't you find there was a better integration with Power School?
Yes.
Yeah, it plays nice with the Power School, and it will do real-time updates.
Right, we'll have real-time updates.
So we'll always have a good synchronization. Anytime there's a change made, it's instantaneous.
So it doesn't wait till once
Right,
or twice a
in the
week
middle
and
of the
doing it
night.
midnight or something like that.
So whenever I
that
make a change, the schools will be
it
able to
updates
see
the
that
tables
change.
immediately. And
Ultimately, this is going to help us save a bit of money, correct? Once we're getting our software and things together.
I don't want to necessarily say that it's going to save us money. It's going to make things be much more streamlined overall. It's going to be much more efficient. We're not going to be spending as much time doing a lot of work around the communication. Will be faster. People will not have to interpret what is written in my comment sections or the cryptic notes that are in a student's record, because it will be there. It can handle students home to school, school to home, and transportation during the middle of the day if they have to do that. Right now our system doesn't do that. I have created workarounds, but unless you're experienced in reading them, sometimes those look confusing to another people at the schools. So this does handle that, and it's also going to handle all of our activity trips and field trips, which we've never had with ProSoft. So anybody who has access to this will be able to see, if you get a phone call in the middle of the night in administration and something happened to bus, whatever, 454, you'll be able to go on there and see, oh, that bus is out at such and such a field trip or doing this athletic trip. You know, like I have kids coming home from Penn Hills in a little while, and you'll know what that bus is doing, where it was, who was on it. So that's something we've never had before.
Oh, so this is something I know we can order, because I know for athletics, I know my kids have had a couple of times when we had some of our previous things where I know they would have buses and they would leave, and then we had times when buses never came back.
Right.
And so I know a couple of parents came out and
Picked up
wasn't good, and we stuffed everybody we could in as many cars as we could during the far side of Plum to get them all back home.
Right. So that will help to prevent those kind of things and to know who to contact if that does happen, to get a more immediate response.
Okay, excellent. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Any other question? Seeing none? Yes or no?
I did yes, but it was like,
Oh, that's it. It came through.
I had to do it like 5 times. I was like,
Motion carries unanimously.
Action item 7.3, request approval to purchase new software and licenses for the high school surveillance service at a cost of $5,700 from the general fund.
Is there a motion?
so moved.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Hanchett, second by Mr. Belmont. Any questions on this purchase? Seeing none? Oh. Motion carries unanimously.
That'll move us to food service and transportation. And Section 9, Action Item 9.1, request approval for advanced petroleum services to replace the gas pumps at the warehouse from the Capital Reserve Fund 32, total cost of $15,989.
Is there a motion?
Second.
Moved by Ms. Johnson, second by Mr. Hanchett. Any questions? Discussion?
What's it save us having our own gas pumps at Woodlands as opposed to going at Phillips? We get a discount on the
Probably about 20 to 30 cents per gallon.
We get
having our own.
We bid the fuel through the Allegheny Intermediate Unit, and we get a huge discount on transportation and the price of fuel. We don't have to file for tax rebates because it's coming to us net of taxes. And we control who's, the buses that they're going to, more than if they were going out somewhere else. They're in our district, and we know how much we're putting into those vehicles.
Right. I guess my point is that doing this pays for itself by having our own.
Yes. And these pumps are somewhere between 25 and 30 years old, I think, the dispensers, so
we're also more insulated from,
money.
Seasonal fluctuations in the gas price because we're locked in at a rate. And where if we had to go to, Sheets or something like that, spiking right now, we'd have to eat that. And so it's a more predictable, maybe not even cheaper, but more predictable budget model doing it this way.
Any other questions? Seeing none? Motion carries unanimously.
Move to Buildings and Grounds, Section 10, Action Item 10.1. Request approval to hire McFarland, Kistler, and Associates, food service and laundry consultants for the Dixon Intermediate Project. Cost of $16,900 from the capital projects.
Is there a motion?
Second.
Moved by Dr. Hildebrand, second by Mr. Hanchett. Any questions?
But this is, I guess, just for in the renovation.
They're designing the layout of the kitchen, the equipment to be used, and placement thereof to make it.
Please, I hope we check all this stuff and make sure they have the draw washer next to the drain and everything.
My question is, I'd read it, and that's I assumed before.
Yeah, they also are the experts, I think, in the fire suppression systems that are necessary because those ANC systems standards change all the time, and the size of the appliances we'll need for the population being served. Remember, Dixon will not just serve the kids at Dixon; it'll be the satellite for the other elementary schools. So it'll service a total population of students substantially larger than what's in the building, because it's also providing food for Wilkins, Edgewood, Rankin,
Rankin and the Academy.
High school only has enough resources to make the food for itself, and so Dixon will be the source for every other building in the district.
Any other questions? Seeing none? Motion carries unanimously.
Action item 10.2, request approval of the 2018 Mr. John Rental agreement with a first billing cycle amount of $916 with a recurring amount of $796 per month.
Motion.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Hanchett, second by Dr. Hildebrand. Any questions or discussion?
This is for like the Porter Johnson.
Yes.
It's a load of crap, if you ask me.
You knew that was coming.
Right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, there's like a half a dozen.
Yeah, something like that. Mike, Bob, isn't that 7?
12.
12, sorry.
Okay.
Any other questions? Okay. Seeing none? Motion carries unanimously.
Ms. Glasser, just a question to save a little time since there's 14 items here. Do we want to look at like 3, 4, and 5 together since they're on the same thing? It's just totally up to you guys.
What Al said.
Yes.
Okay.
So we would be asking for approval of action items 10.3, 10.4, and 10.5. It's all approving and ratifying work done largely by mainly mechanical in at the various buildings to the boilers, at essentially all the buildings in the district. And you can see the amount: $7,146, $10,593, and $69,850, all coming from capital reserve.
Is there a member who wishes to move all three of those motions?
Second.
Moved by Dr. Hildebrand, second by Ms. Strasbaugh.
Can you handle that in board docs, Julie?
Mm-hmm.
Any question or discussion on those 3 items? Okay.
I'd say easy yes, well, 1 degree weather, right?
It's important. Motion carries unanimously.
Action item 10.6, request approval of facility usage by outside groups.
Is there a motion?
Make a motion.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Graves, second by Ms. Strasbaugh. Any questions on the facility use list? Seeing none? Oh. Motion carries unanimously.
Action items 10.7, Request approval to award the following bids for surplus equipment to the highest bidders. They're listed there.
Is there a motion?
So moved. Second.
Moved by Ms. Strasbaugh, second by Ms. Johnson. Any questions? Seeing none. Motion carries unanimously.
Would there be any interest in combining items 8, 9, and 10 since they all involve scrapping, or do we look at them individually? Sure. So we need a motion to approve 10, 8, 10, 9, and 10, 10.
Sure. I'll make that motion to combine 10, 8, 9, and 10.
Okay. 10, 8, 9, and 10 have been moved by Mr. Belmont and seconded by Ms. Johnson. Any questions or discussion on those three items? Okay. Seeing none. Vote.
Mine only had 10, 8. Does that matter?
It's okay. Yeah, I'll mark them all.
Okay.
Those motions carry unanimously.
Action item 1010, request approval to, I'm sorry, I did that one. Action item 1011, request approval for AGX to conduct the AHERA 3-year inspection for $1,650 from the general fund.
Is there a motion? Moved by Dr. Hildebrand, second by Ms. Johnson. Any questions on this? This is an asbestos inspection, is that correct?
Yes. Yes. This is not for Dixon, this is for the whole district.
Any questions on that? Okay. Seeing none. Vote. Motion carries unanimously.
Action item 10.12, request approval for Robert Finney, Jeffrey Tonkovich, and Shane Aiken to attend the Siemens Control Training in Bridgeville, PA, for $1,950 each on February 13th, 14th, and 15th, with funds coming from the general fund.
Is there a motion?
So move.
Second.
Moved by Ms. Strasbaugh, second by Mr. Hanchett. Any questions? Seeing none.
I assume 3 people are going. You said there's coverage all the time.
Yeah, I think those two guys, are they evening shift, Bob? Or Jeff and Shane?
I'm sorry?
Dr. Hildebrand was asking if there'd be coverage while Jeff and Shane were at that training, and I said, aren't they evening guys? I meant wrong. I'm sorry. I misunderstood.
3 people are getting training so that there's someone here all the time.
Oh.
Has
Yeah.
It's daytime, so I don't know if daytime.
No, that's not what he asked. The 3 people, that will be enough to assure coverage all the time, and we need it for those controls if there's a problem. I think we have additional people who can train, don't we?
Correct.
So there's more than just these 3.
More than enough to have proper coverage for the school district.
After this is done. I don't think we still haven't answered your question, did we?
Is the objective to have everybody trained?
No.
No, it's not. You want your HVAC guys trained, and Shane is not an HVAC, but he's very savvy with the technology and computer system, so it makes sense to have him trained, just in case Jack Wolf decides to retire later on down the road, then we got somebody that will slide right into that.
I think Shane's an electrician by trade,
Trying
isn't
to
he?
be proactive instead of reactive, basically.
Isn't Shane an electrician anyway by trade?
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
Any additional questions? Motion carries unanimously.
Action item 10.13, request approval for AGX to perform asbestos inspection and consulting services related to the Dixon Intermediate project at a cost not to exceed $7,500 from the Capital Project Fund.
Is there a motion?
So moved. Second.
Moved by Mr. Hanchett, second by Dr. Hildebrand. Any questions or discussion? Seeing none, take the vote. Motion carries unanimously.
Action item 10.14, request approval to advertise the asbestos abatement bid for Dixon Intermediate School from Capital Projects Fund 39.
Is there a motion?
Second.
Moved by Dr. Hildebrand, second by Mrs. Seligson.
No.
Oh, sorry.
Ms. Johnson.
Ms. Johnson.
They're falling back into their old habits.
Sorry. Okay. Any questions on that?
And this is just if the inspection in 1013 finds anything.
Correct.
We go ahead and make the ad.
Yeah, we can put the ad out so we don't.
It will definitely find stuff, but yeah. It's a pleasant thought, but.
In addition to Jimmy Hoff.
Beg your pardon?
In addition to Jimmy Hoff.
Yeah, it could well.
Any other questions on this one? Okay. Seeing none, call the vote. Motion carries unanimously.
That'll move us, oh, I'm sorry, yes, we're not yet, right. That'll move us to legal matters. Action item 11.1. Permission to approve student adjudication number 1. Which should have been sent out to you, I hope.
It wasn't.
Okay.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Hanchett, second by Dr. Hildebrand. Any need for discussion on this? Seeing none? Motion carries unanimously.
That'll move us to school finance. Action item 12.1. Request ratification of the bill list for invoices paid after the December 14th, 2017 legislative meeting.
Is there a motion?
So moved. Second.
Moved by Mr. Hanchett, second by Dr. Hildebrand. Any questions on the ratification list?
Yeah, I have 2 questions. So on page 18 of this public official bond, it's just a whole bunch of people on there. What exactly is that for? It's a pretty sizable amount.
Those are tax collectors.
Oh, right. Okay. So that's theirs.
That's 4 years.
That's 4 years.
That'll cover their full 4-year collection, their term.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not an annual. That'll be for the next 4 years.
I don't remember seeing that before.
Yes.
Okay.
Do you have another question?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. And maybe this is just my imagination. Sort of at the end of the bill list, it seems that there's a ton of. I'm sorry, it's not the end of the list. Page 2. I don't know what section it is.
Give me a name.
Anyway, there's like a whole bunch of employer retirement things.
That's payroll.
I know, but it just seems like there's way more than. Or is it my imagination? It just happens to be when the time of the year or something like that.
Every quarter we pay the employer's share.
Okay, so maybe that's why that was.
So,
Okay.
page 2, page 1,
Yeah.
where it says public school retirement system.
Yep.
Yeah, that's quarter. That's the employer share of retirement, which we pay quarterly.
Okay, so that's why it's.
So it's 2 pages long. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Any other questions on the ratification list? Seeing none?
And just for information, the employee share that we deduct from their paycheck is paid every month.
Right.
The employer, we pay quarterly.
Motion carries unanimously.
Action item 12.2, request approval of the January 2018 bill list. They are attached.
Is there a motion? Moved by Dr. Hildebrand, second by Ms. Johnson. Any questions on the bill list?
Yeah, just a clarification on page 29. The one to St. Vincent's is the thing that we approved already.
Yes.
I just wanted to
That's the balance.
All right. And then I know it's a tiny amount, but on page 29, on page 14, why are we paying $100 all the time to a library in Williams? James B. Brown Library.
Page
14.
Those are Pennsylvania one book for every child. Let me see who ordered it. One for Wilkins, one for Edgewood, and one for the Academy. So they each ordered one volume, one copy of the book, and that's what it costs, $100 a piece.
And you guys have any familiarity with that? I'm not off the top of my head. Jim, Allison, you guys? That's all right.
I was just curious because I didn't know where that library was, so I looked up the library, and it was in, I think it's in Williamsport or something like that. So
Yeah, I think it is in Williamsport, yeah.
We can research that for you.
I mean, if it's 4 books or whatever.
Oh, I'm sorry. Or Gene, I didn't see you sitting back there. Any of you guys know?
14.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a subscription or...
Yeah, it might be a subscription.
We'll check with the library. We'd like to know. I don't want to hang
Like I
out.
said,
We'll
it's
check
not,
with the library.
it's no
$300,
but I'm just, like I said, I was just curious why
we'll make a phone call and find out.
Shows the statistics of all the 8-year-olds in the previous year.
Any other questions on the bill list?
I just got that joke.
Cooper's got it. Right, Todd.
Motion carries unanimously.
Action item 12.3.
We know what it is. Jim knows what it is, Jim.
It is, yeah. We're not charging for everyone. We buy, the Pennsylvania has a One Book for Every Child initiative. They select a book each year for every child to read, and we provide copies of that book to all the libraries. So that's where that expense comes from. We typically also use those when we're for early kindergarten registration as something that we hand out to parents.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
No, I mean, it sounds good. I was just curious why it's this random library in the middle of, well, I don't say the middle of nowhere, but in the middle of in Williamsport. So.
You know, my bet on that is that Central Susquehanna Intermediate Unit, which does a lot of the work for PDE, they farm a lot of that stuff. It maybe has something to do with the fact that it's in that IU.
I wasn't aware of the vendor, but I know we actually did check it out to see if it would be cheaper to buy the books from somewhere else, and it was not.
Okay.
Are we good? Back to action item 12.3, requesting the acceptance of the November and December 2017 fund reports for informational purposes.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Dr. Hildebrand, second by Ms. Strasbaugh. Any questions on those? Seeing none? Vote. Motion carries unanimously.
Action item 12.4, request approval of the investment reports for November and December of 2017.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Hanchett, second by Ms. Seligson. Any questions or discussion? Seeing none? Motion carries unanimously.
Action item 12.5, request the acceptance of the November and December 2017 student activity reports for informational purposes.
Is there a motion?
So moved. So moved. Second.
Moved by Dr. Hildebrand, second by Mr. Hanchett. Any questions or discussion? Seeing none? Motion carries unanimously.
Action item 12.6, request approval for Conrad Siegel to perform the OPEB actuarial services work related to the GASB 75 audit reporting requirements. The cost is $7,775 from general fund.
Is there a motion?
So moved. Second.
Moved by Dr. Hildebrand, second by Mr. Hanchett. Any questions or discussion?
Mike, do you want to give us a brief outline of what this reporting actually is for, or what we have to report?
Yeah, what they do is they, as part of the audit and as part of the general accepted accounting standards, the governmental accounting standards, we have to go out and hire an actuary to calculate our post-employment retirement benefits, which would be the health insurance we provide to retirees. So what they have to do is they have to calculate what that worth is as a liability to the school district, so we can report a number on our financial statements, basically as a liability for the financial world to know what we would owe for health insurance for those people, that recently retired, that we give them benefits for, till age 65 or the 7 years, and that's what this is used, so that the auditors have a good number to rely on. And I can't calculate it because I'm not an actuary, and it's required that we hire an actuary to do it. So, and it's a number that is used on the financial statements on the audit report.
Essentially, they're guessing how long our retirees will live.
And it's basically not only those retirees that are out there, but who would be becoming eligible.
All right, thank you.
Any other questions? Seeing none? Vote. Motion carries unanimously.
I move us to the Assistant Superintendent section, and first tab is permission to ratify the TRIB Total Media contract in the amount of $1,000 for the Woodland Hills Football Network, coming from General Fund 10.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Hanchett, second by Ms. Johnson. Any questions or discussion on this? Okay, seeing none. Motion carries unanimously.
Item 2, permission to approve the MOU with the Greater Pittsburgh Coalition Against Violence at no cost to the district. This program will be at the junior senior high school. MOU is attached.
Is there a motion?
Second.
Moved by Dr. Hildebrand, second by Ms. Strasbaugh. Any questions or discussion? Seeing none, take the vote. Motion carries unanimously.
Action item 3, permission for a 1-year membership with Ed Leader at a cost not to exceed $1,000 with funding coming from the general fund curriculum budget. The team will consist of Ms. Lentz, Mr. Kloss, and Dr. Livingston, myself. I don't think she wants to give me credit. This is through the Consortium for Public Education.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Hanchett, second by Mr. Belmont. Any questions or discussion?
Alicia, could you give a quick rundown on what's involved here?
So this is a national organization. Actually, it costs a lot more, but the Grable Foundation is kicking in the money for us to go. Right now, it's us, Wilkinsburg, Penn Hills, Still Valley, Duquesne, and Clairton. And we will be with a group of educators from across the country, basically a PLC, a professional learning community, where we'll be sharing ideas and resources as it pertains to academics, career readiness, college, everything that we have to do in terms of standards with college and career readiness. And it's just a huge group of sharing. We're the first group in the Pittsburgh region to do it, and there's not too many cities in the country that do it. So it's pretty exciting, and for $1,000 and all of the resources we're going to get, because Grable picked up $8,000 for each district.
I think the larger context, too, is that this is part of a larger effort to bring together school districts like our own in the Mon Valley area to see if we can't do more to develop a common voice and a common platform. I mean, districts like ours and the ones that Ms. Lynch just mentioned share a lot, and we're not heard a lot. And we believe the only way that's going to happen is if we all kind of work together. And this is kind of one of the first steps in that direction.
Thank you.
Any further questions or discussion? Seeing none? Oh. Mr. Belmont?
Do you want to? Do you just want to vote yes or no?
It looks like you did, because it says your change.
I voted.
It did not register, so you just want to tell me what it is, I can put it in? Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Motion carries unanimously.
Action item 4, permission to accept the lease agreement with the YMCA of, pretty sure that's Wilmerding, at the Edgewood Primary Building. The term of the lease shall be coincident with the district's 2017-18 school year, beginning in August 2017, ending in June 2018. The rent for the use of the leased premises will be in the amount of $1. This is for the before-school program that the YMCA hosts at that building for low-income families.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Hanchett, second by Ms. Seligson. Any questions or discussion? Seeing none, I'll take the vote. Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you. And I just want to acknowledge the work done by Mr. Hoffman, Matt Hoffman from Tucker Orangeburg, and also Mr. Vogel from Tucker Orangeburg, in helping us get this done. It was appreciated. It's for $1 lease. They They went up above and beyond, so we're very grateful for that because we needed to get this done. Thank you, gentlemen. We'll go to Superintendent's, Section 14. Action item 14.1, request the acceptance in the amount of $2,000 from the Buncher Foundation for the Swissvale Library. Monies will be used to cover general operating costs of the Swissvale Library. You need to accept that.
Is there a motion?
Second.
Moved by Mr. Hanchett, second by Dr. Hildebrand. Any questions or discussion? Seeing none. Motion carries unanimously.
Action item 14.2, approve the contract between the Woodland Hills School District and Mr. Michael Gigliotti for services as business manager and board secretary, as described in the attached contract and job description.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Dr. Hildebrand, second by Mr. Hanchett. Any questions? Seeing none.
I guess I should mention for the public, this contract would be valid from now through September 30th, 2021.
Ms. Johnson, did you vote? Can you? I didn't register. Okay, thank you.
Motion carries unanimously.
Congratulations, Mike.
Thank you. Thank all of you.
Action item 14.3, request acceptance of $1,256 from the Allegheny County Schools Health Insurance Consortium to go to our employee wellness program.
Is there a motion?
Second.
Moved by Mr. Hanchett, second by Ms. Strasbaugh. Any questions or discussion? Okay, seeing none.
Ms. Johnson, it didn't come through again. Yes. Okay. Just two more.
Motion carries unanimously.
Action item 14.4, request approval of 3 memoranda of understanding between the district and the Woodland Hills Education Association.
Is there a motion?
The same.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Dr. Hildebrand, second by Ms. Strasbaugh. Any questions on those? Okay. Seeing none.
Did you get a box?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't get that. Is Alexander, do you get a box? Okay.
Motion carries unanimously.
Action item 14.5, permission to ratify the attendance of Mr. Robert Finney and Mr. Ronald Corsi at a meeting with Score Vision Sales at a cost at no cost to the district.
Is there a motion?
Second.
Moved by Mr. Belmont, second by Mr. Hanchett. Any questions or discussion?
So how much does a new scoreboard cost?
They're going to be here at the
Athletic
committee meeting, Wednesday?
Monday.
Athletics, whatever.
Monday. Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Okay, Tuesday. And they'll have a presentation. I'll be emailing you guys a few links, but we're working on that. A little savvy. But we also have Daktronics. We'll be able to get theirs too at another time.
Okay.
Any other questions? Okay, seeing none. Motion carries unanimously.
I have no more agenda items, Ms. Glasser.
Is there any old business? Seeing none, is there any new business?
Yeah, I want a motion for an Act 80 for February 19th.
19th?
Yes. Okay. With an agenda. Can we have that in within the next 2 weeks?
Sure.
For the teachers.
Okay.
Second.
Second? Okay. Mrs. Seligson moves and Mr. Belmont seconds a motion to make the snow makeup day that is scheduled for February 19th an Act 80 day. There will be conferences. We will, with the caveat that the Education Association is to provide to us an agenda for that day by January the 31st.
Yeah. So with the caveat, just make it provided that.
Provided that. Very good. Mrs. Peel, did you get all that?
21st?
The 31st.
31st. I'm sorry.
31st. 2 weeks from today is the 30th. Is that acceptable?
Mm-hmm.
I got it.
Okay. Any questions or discussions on that motion? Okay. Seeing none, this will have to be a voice vote, Ms. Peel, is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Will you call the roll?
Sure. Mr. Graves?
Yes.
Ms. Seligson?
Yes.
Dr. Hildebrand?
Yes.
Mr. Hanchett?
Yes.
Ms. Strasburg?
Yes.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Belmont?
Yes.
Ms. Glasser?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay.
I think just to let the people know who are talking about this, it's just something that is done, for people who are watching this at home. This is an activity that's brought up by the teachers to help the students of the district, and so they're reaching out themselves to help the students of the district, and I think this is a very good thing. I think any help we can give our students is well deserved, especially it's been such a trying year this year.
Amy?
Yes.
I'd like to echo Jeff's sentiment and thank the teachers for taking the initiative on this effort. On behalf of the board, thank you.
Any other new business? Okay. Seeing none, we have no reports this month because the committees have not met since our December meeting, which will move us to public communication. Is there anyone who wishes to address the board at this time? Seeing none, is there a motion to adjourn?
Yes. Second.
Is there a second?
Second. Third. Fourth.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.